Hello Pisces, thank you for watching your May 1st to 15th read. For the main read, this time I'm going to use the Bonefire Tarot, which is the box. Is it box? No, it's not dusty. I'm crazy. It's by Gabby Angus-West, in case you want to know. I'm going to squish my box open. Support cards, magical spell cards by Lucy Cavendish. I have other decks, I just haven't felt the desire to okay. Now what are we going to do with these cards? One. That's it? Okay. Alright, so I feel like this is more about you in this time frame. And by that I mean there's some external influences, but I feel like you're looking at what's going on. You're trying to decide what control, what part you had in it, and you're trying to reevaluate. In fact, you might be a little nitpicky because I feel like I'm doing this because that's the reason. Like, you might be picking at yourself a little bit. Like, I could have done this, or I shouldn't have said that, or, you know, I feel like you're kind of feeling the weight of the world. Like, what do you own with this, and how do you fix it type feel. I'm kind of feeling the weight of the world type feeling here. As I say in probably every Pisces video, Pisces myself. So I just want to say that it just seems to be starting out a little rocky, but it looks like it's going a lot better. I feel like you're worried about home life, security. Some of you it's career. This is definitely connected to your inner security, inner self, your safety. Like the card up here is safe home protection, but I'm feeling like this is mostly like the situation. You're feeling like you made a mistake, or you're going in a direction that you don't like, and it's affecting a fundamental part of your life. And by fundamental, I mean this is a part it's like a baseline. Like, this is how you built your life. This is what keeps everything in place. Like, if this changed, like for example, if it's your career, if this changed, it would change everything else in your life. If this is regarding family and there's a change here that you feel might happen, this would change out the whole dynamic of how you relate and how things go forward with your family. That's how this is coming in. I do feel, though, that it's not really like that. I feel like it's kind of built up more than it actually is. There are some situations, there are some issues, but they're not as critical as I feel you might be afraid they are. I hope that came out correct. There's still a lot of good there. The love is still there. Everything is still okay. I feel like you're being very critical of yourself at this point. I feel like everything is secure and things are safe, but you're feeling like you've thrown things around, and there's so much here for you still. And things have changed. I feel like new colors and new aspects and new things are going to come your way. And missteps you feel you've made in the past are coloring the future. And they're changing things. I feel like there's some pain from the past that needs to come forward. And these things you're seeing as missteps are actually causing these things to come forward so they can be healed and they can be dealt with. This is reminding me of a friend of mine that sent me a message recently. About the whole world situation, and I'm wondering if that's kind of... There seems to be a theme going on here. I'm noticing a lot lately around me, which might be another thing with Pisces. We can be very empathic. Certain signs are just more prone to it than others. It seems like most people have some type of level of that going on. But sometimes I feel like the weight of the world can ring in and just drive you crazy. I knew that was going to happen. Let me just turn that off. Okay. Sorry about that. I'll just calm that down. Alright, sit down. You can hang out, but you guys sit down. She's like, nope, nope. All the attention, my attention. Alright, now that's... I actually feel like that was... Well, anyway. Snapping yourself out of it can be a thing. Something else from the outside, I feel like, does that. Kind of like that, maybe. I don't feel like things are that bad. I feel like you're viewing the world in a certain aspect. And I don't feel like it's like you're completely off base with it, but it's not as unfettered. I feel like I should know what that word means, but it's not coming to the forefront of my brain. It's one of the things when I read. Sometimes just part of my brain does not connect. Unfettered. I have to look. I feel like I should know what that means. All right. Hopefully the person that or people that means something to, that'll connect. It's kind of aggravate me. I know what that word means. We're coming to a line here, a line of cards. So I feel like you're being critical at first of yourself, and you're worried about things from the past. Things are a little warped and out of focus, but they're helping you. There's something you want to change here, and this is bringing forward this change. It's showing you some of your strength, and I feel like there's a lot of strength with you. You got 2 strength cards, literally. You have the overall energy is strength. That's the strength card. And you got the Magician, bringing forth what you want through your strength. Just to keep this in focus, with the other deck there, the next card, literally strength. This is also in your mental aspect. So you got a lot of strength on your side. A lot of things pushing forward the way you want them to go. I'm feeling like things are going forward the way you want them to. It just may be a case of like how it's happening is very uncomfortable and really not like it's kind of like this isn't best case scenario for how I wanted this to happen, but it is going like, I feel like near the end of this especially, you're going to realize, all right, this is going in a better direction. Not really the best way, in my opinion, for this to happen, but hey, I'm here now. Kind of like this is at the end or moving out of this time frame. It's a better sense of like where things are. I don't feel there's a lot of animosity in any sense towards you. I feel like people are whatever's going on around you, the situation you feel like went a little awry, people are still coming back to you. I feel like whatever the missteps you feel you made, they weren't completely devastating, and people are coming back to you, and they just, if you need to be forgiven, you're being forgiven. If you need things to change, things are changing. If you need resolution or to understand things better, that's coming towards you. I feel like the healing is coming towards you. I feel like words were said on both sides, if that's the case here. I'm getting like a words were said on both sides feeling here. But I do feel like when this comes back around, you handle it very diplomatically, and I feel like there's a lot of owning the situation. I'm kind of feeling you might have owned a little more than you needed to, and I think other people are pushing it forward. Like there's like a working out, a categorizing, a reestablishing, or I don't even know if reestablishing is the right word. Reinforcing relationships. I feel like you might have gotten very caught up in your own mind in this situation, and like the other side or whatever the situation is, because I feel like for some of us, it's completely a way we're viewing something, and information comes to us to help us understand what's really happening. And like I feel like some of us might have felt picked on or ridiculed or singled out. And as things go forward, we're starting to see a different aspect, and like we're starting to think, you know what, that really, I think I took that the wrong way, or something went differently, or you're noticing something happened to someone else, and you're realizing it may have came at you in a personal way, but you're realizing it went at somebody else also in a personal way, but personal to them, and you're realizing that whatever's coming at you isn't personal in the sense of like, how do I put this? Like you were just the easy target for the moment. Like even though the attack or whatever came at you, you felt was very personal and very directed, and it may have been, but you're noticing it's happening to other people around you, and you're realizing that where it's coming from, it doesn't really matter what is being said. It's just that it's being directed to get at people, just the easiest angle. I don't know if this is coming across right. It's not as personal as it might have seemed to begin with. And I feel like you're disconnecting with it in a sense, because you're starting to see, like, wait a minute. yes, that was very personal. Yes, that was very direct. But I'm noticing it really doesn't matter what my circumstances are, because somebody else with completely different circumstances got the same treatment, but for different circumstances. But they got the same shakeout, and that's not fair for them either. But we're completely different, and I'm realizing that it doesn't really matter my personal attributes in this situation. The person that sent this to me, or it came at me this way, was just looking for the easiest way to make me feel like crap. And they did it to that person too. And it has really, I don't even know if they really believe what they said. Their whole thing was to make me feel like crap, and that was why they said what they said. That's why the information came the way it came. Like, I don't know, like, there's a disconnect here. Like, I feel like you're seeing a different view of this picture. Like, you know what? It was like somebody tried to make it personal, but you're realizing it's really not. It's just them and how they treat people. Okay, that seems to be the way. And I feel like there's people around you, like, giving you information, showing you, like, don't let this hold you down. Don't let this come across to you this way. Yes, that was very direct. Yes, it was very personal in the sense of the facts. But if you notice around you, these other people with completely different facts were treated the same way. Just it was whatever was easiest to attack them with. That's very poignant. This is very complicated because I feel like things are changing. Because in the beginning here, you're not happy and you're feeling like you own a lot of this, and you feel like things are a little warped. And for some reason in the beginning, you seem to own a lot and feel like this is a lot of your fault. Because I don't feel like this... Like, however this situation came at you, in the beginning you felt like, oh my God, this is all ruined. I shouldn't have said this or that. But then it comes back around another way, and like I feel like other people are showing you, like, you know, that wasn't right, and it's not just happening to you; it's happening to other people, but in different aspects. Like, however it's coming at you, it's trying to be made personal, but it's really not. The reason it's trying to be made personal is because it feels like to the aggressive side that they can permanently pin you down with it if they make it feel personal, but it's really not, because more people, this has happened to other, I don't know how to explain this. I hope I made sense with that, because it's happening to a few other people, I feel, but in different ways, but the same reason, like just to knock you down. Anything that will work to knock you down. It's not so much what's said, but what can be said to get what they want. That's kind of how it feels. Excuse me. That's a little weird. Excuse me. And the cough starts. Great. That's interesting, because I do feel like your strength is holding you up. But it's in the center part here, too, that you start to manifest what you want. You start to change things. Because I feel like you start talking more. And you're a little more optimistic. And I feel like there's a community effort here, talking things out with other people. And things are working a lot better. I feel like your vision or your view of the situation changes. And you have a much more stable, you feel more secure, because you're starting to see, like, you know what, I'm not going to let you, or this person, or whoever it was, or however it happened, I'm not going to let you try to single me out, because I know you're just doing that to try to hold me down, to make me feel like there's nothing I can do about this. But I'm realizing it's just a tactic. It doesn't really matter if you believe that or not, that be them being the other people. It doesn't matter what they believe, because you realize it's so vapid and vacant. It's just about what type of control or how we oppress more than you, other people. And you might notice contradictions. Like, well, you might get pushed back as a negative thing. Somebody else does the opposite, and then they get that pushed back as a negative thing. Kind of like there's no win. And you're starting to realize, you know what, I did it this way, and you're saying that's completely wrong, and I have no business even being here, let alone waking up in the morning. And then the other person did it the other way you said was the right way, and then you said the same thing to them, that they did it completely wrong, they have no business being here, and you don't even know why they wake up in the morning. Like, I'm realizing, hey, like, there's no sense to what you're saying. There's just, and I don't even know if you believe what you're saying or pay attention to what you're saying, you're just trying to make people feel like crap. And I'm not playing into that anymore. That's what I feel like is going back and forth here. Like, I feel like you're getting into deeper, and you're, like, looking at it, and I feel like your friends or some type of colleagues or somebody else is, like, pushing forward, like, hey, this is what was said to me, and I just feel like this. And you're like, wow, well, this is what was said to me, and I feel like this. And then somebody else, or somehow you figure it out, you're just like, wait a minute, this is ludicrous. This makes no sense. No sense at all. and you're figuring out like where it's coming from. It's not about the personal details. It's about what they're trying to make you feel so they can control you. All right. So I'm going to move into the end of this because I feel like that's what's really important here. I feel like you start communicating more and you touch out to other people. You're trying to figure out what's going on. And through that, I feel like other people are feeling better. Other people are being lifted up. I feel like there's a very strong community effort trying to figure out what is happening here. Why is this happening? By the end of this time frame, I feel like it's like becoming more clear what's happening and why. But then it's more of a concern about how do we fare through this? Is there a way for us to move out of this storm? And that's where this kind of leads off. Like there's strength here, but I feel like there's a community effort on what to do next. Excuse me. It's very strong. There's a very positive energy here at the end. There's places all over my house with rings and bells. I swear, I don't understand what I have on out in the other room. But anyway, I feel like it's one of those Tinkerbell books when you're reading from Disney and it's like, turn the page. Ding. Oh my gosh. Does that mean I should turn the page? Well, there you go. Healing and fertility. Like, things are getting better at the end of this, and I feel like there's a little concern about how to handle it next, but I feel like as you've talked this out and worked with other people, you're feeling a lot stronger. I feel like there's more strength in the community with this and seeing what's really happening and not letting it hold you down. I feel like you're not taking it as personal at the end. You're starting to realize, like, this is just a game to whatever other side you're dealing with. It's just kind of a game, and they're playing it any way they can to get the win. And you're just realizing, you know what, all right, that's enough. It's enough of this game. And, well, maybe you might be able to force me into some sort of game, but now it's going to be our game, and we're going to change the rules. And I feel like that's what you're doing here. That sounds very interesting. I feel like it's really good at the end here. Anything else? I'm curious with this, because like I said, Pisces myself, I'm curious. Because it feels like something isn't seen, or something isn't coming across the way it should be. And in the very beginning, I feel like you're taking the weight of the world like it's all your fault. Or like you feel like you've made missteps, you've done things wrong. I feel like whatever's being said to you, you've taken to heart. And then you keep that in isolation to yourself for a little while, and then you start talking, and you get this support, and all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, this isn't right. I mean, granted, I made some missteps, but you know what? I'm not this person they're trying to paint me as. That's not right. And what was said to me, that's not right either. And you're getting out of it. I feel like you're looking at yourself in a more humanistic way. I'm not perfect. I'm not meant to be perfect, but I'll fix what I can. That being said, there's some debauchery going on here, and I'm not standing for that either. Yeah. Okay, so going out of this time frame, things get a lot better. There's strength in the community, talking it out. I feel like at the end here, this is like things coming to fruition, like the strengthening. You're becoming stronger by talking. And I feel like you're realizing from the beginning part, because there wasn't as much strength in the beginning because you were holding it to yourself and holding it in. But when you express it and talk about it, that's where the strength comes. And I feel like that was part of the plan. However this was coming at you, it was supposed to try to make you feel small and weak and like you shouldn't say anything. You should be ashamed and how dare you, and you should keep it to yourself because who wants to know that you're that person? And then you're like, wait a minute. No. And you finally, and I feel like it didn't come out completely, with strength. Like, you finally started talking, and then your friends are like, no, that's not you, or that's not true, or, this and that, and, well, God forbid you be human like everybody else. I feel like somebody's, saying, hey, you know what, you're not supposed to be perfect. That doesn't happen. You're supposed to make mistakes, and you're doing well, and it's and I think they're pointing out your good attributes and, how things were not right, how they were pushed towards you. Okay. Goes well at the end. I'm very chatty. Is there anything else I need to say? I think I hit it all. All right. And thank you for everybody who leaves comments. I do read them. It's easier to read them on my phone, so I usually read them on my phone during break at my day job. But thank thank you very much for the comments. I very much appreciate them, and especially when you let me know how these worked out for you. Thank you so much. I'll keep them coming, and of course, if you want a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. Thanks.